have issues accepting the fact that my mind works the way that it does. And I'm aware that not everybody's gonna enjoy who I am as a person. I really do my best to try to be authentic and help out as many people as possible, but as well as what I feel like is with more information that ends up getting to my brain, it kind of like jumbles up and it clouds how I clearly think. And I don't try to think in black and white, but sometimes I do. But I also realize in that mind frame that not everything can be black and white. Like, I'm trying to think of good examples. But I always feel like there's a disconnect when I talk to people. Like, I can connect with people, but I feel as if people can't always connect with me. And that's what bothers me, because people give me compliments and things that like sound like they're great things to hear, but how I've heard compliments kind of annoys me to even be complimented. It stops being flattering when people call you great, when people call you perfect, when people call you awesome, when people call you amazing, but they still don't really ever call you. Or they don't really care for you. Like, they care for what you can do for them, but they don't care for you as an individual. And what I've come to realize when it comes to anything and everything is, once you outlived your use, then what's the point of having you around anymore? And that's what bothers me in this existence, in this world. I do realize that so long as my personality isn't unbearable, so long as I can carry my own weight and take care of my own shit, so long as I can afford all things I want and need, then there should be no need to have issues with me. On top of being able to do that, I help out other people just because I figure many hands make it light, as well as I've always been helped, regardless if I want to admit it, regardless if I am aware of it or not. Like, taking aside from just being pretty, being able to let things bounce off me. Like, the reason why things can bounce off me so easily is because I don't really get why people would say certain things. Like, I'm the type of person that if I wasn't so clouded with so many thoughts of don't say that, don't act like that, don't be like this, blah, that. And that's the main reason why I'm under substances, is because at the end of the day, I'm never going to want weed to be the scapegoat for why I am the way that I am. So therefore, when I'm high, I do my best to try to contain, and I'm more conscious and aware of the things, because when I'm high, I don't know how to explain this aside from, I care more when I'm high, but when I'm sober, I could care less, as in, or I guess in reality, I could care more, because when I'm sober, I figure there's no excuses for why I'm acting the way that I am, but there's less control over me being able to subside from being able to do that certain stuff. Like, there's times I've literally had battles inside my own head telling me, don't do this, don't do that, and I'm fucking still doing it, so I'm just like, what the fuck, Ethan? And how I feel as if, like, inside my head that there's... What Total Drama Island was it? It wasn't Total Drama Island. It was Total Drama, if you've ever heard of it. It's a Canadian Cartoon Network show that aired on Cartoon Network in, like, the early to mid-2000s. And I would say it was decently popular. Like, I fucking loved it. And I saw, like, Total Drama Action, Total Drama Island, Total Drama World Tour. Like, I swear I've seen at least 5 to 6 seasons, and there could still be more. But in one of the Total Dramas, there's this guy called Multiple Mike, or yeah, it's Multiple Mike, because Mike has so many different. Mike essentially has DID, I think, is what they were getting at, and he is aware of it, that he has different personalities, but he wasn't feeling comfortable with it, and he has like this horrible personality in his head that he kind of keeps locked up, called Mal. And from my understanding, Mal was the reasoning for Mike to have the troublehood that he had in his younger years. And it's just because different things triggered different parts of his personalities, and when he felt, I guess, in certain scenarios, in certain instances, like his athletic side would come out when was it? When did Svetlana come out? Manitoba came out when he had a hat on. Mal came out when the fuck he wanted to. And the funny thing about Mal is he was able to control the rest of them. It's just, how do I explain this? Some people are onions and some people are oranges. Some people you only need to peel one layer and that's it. And some people you can peel many layers and many layers and many layers and many layers and many layers. And it's just like, I'm an onion, not an orange. And that's the problem. In a world full of oranges, I'm the wrong thing. And even in a world full of onions, I'm still not an orange. I'm just not the onion that they've seen before. Or I guess like the Russian doll thing. I'm a Russian doll while you're just a normal one. There's nothing on the inside of you, but inside of me, there's more insides of me, insides of me, insides of me, insides of me. Kind of like a whole entire inception loop. And I guess my issue with society is just trying to figure out where do I fit in, because I know that there's group for everyone, everything. And it's trying to figure out how to communicate with others. And the stupid thing is, people, I wouldn't say it's stupid, I'm just using poor word choices. The weird thing to me is people see me as noble and followable and respectable. And I will admit, in certain aspects, I kind of am just kind of like a walking floor mat. But like once I have had enough with the situation, and I've been trying, because I will stand on my nose, and that's why I have issues communicating with certain women, is because you can't tell certain women no, because it's just, I don't know. And I guess it goes the same way with guys. I'm not trying to be sexist with this line. Like, it's all women you can't tell no, and it's all men you can't tell no. It's just certain people. I guess is what I should have said originally. You can't tell no to. But in my life, I'm talking from my personal experience, there's times I've told females, no, I'm not hungry. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want that. Thank you very much. Like, I've been very fortunate to have to argue and feud. That was literally the customer. Feud with people over the fact that I don't want, I don't need, thank you very much. I do my best to be able to be self-sufficient and not be a burden on others. So it's very hard for me to really, that's what I'm looking for. It's really hard for me to evaluate when I do need assistance, because I would literally destroy my whole entire body not to need to ask somebody for help. But due to the fact that I don't know everything and know how everything is taken apart and how everything is put together, I should be more comfortable asking for assistance. But I think the way that my upbringing believed me to think of being just a burden, and there's like, if being a dude, it's harder to be able to ask for assistance just because the world breeds us to always be the leaders and to be the gatherers and be the hunters and to do all these leading positions and be the first one to die and be the first one to fight and be the first one to do the things that seem life-threatening and dangerous. And don't get me wrong, I'm willing to do that aspect of being a man, but there's certain things I'm just like, it's not man and female, it's part of human existence. Like, we all need to learn how to cook, we all need to learn how to clean, we all need to learn how to regulate our emotions, we all need to be able to learn how to speak up about what we want, what we need, what we feel interested in, what we feel is bothering us. Like, we all need to be able to speak with our true voice and not just a voice that allows us to feel comfortable in areas because of XYZ, ABC. Those people around us have such a chokehold in the room's energy, in the room's conversation. Like, I'm very well aware on how a lot of things work, which is why it just absolutely upsets me and why I don't feel as if I fit in a lot of places, because I can, but to force myself to fit in is to get rid of a lot of parts of myself that I dislike. I don't know how to explain that to people. Like, I make these videos definitely way more for me than I do for you guys, just because I'm just trying to figure out how my mind works and how to work this mind with everybody else's mind. And sometimes I think I'm smart. Most of the times I consider myself an idiot, but to be an idiot in my world is still to be a genius in yours. Or at least to be efficient, or to be something. I am trying my best, and that's all I can do. I do my best not to harm others, but you can harm without any intent to. I do my best to not be in people's ways. Yet again, you could do that with no intent to. But when it comes to what does Ethan want to do, it's the answer it's always been. You guys just don't fucking like hearing it. Ethan wants to die. Ethan wants to disappear. Ethan wants to be gone. Ethan doesn't want to continue in this rat race. Ethan doesn't want to be successful. Ethan is just successful. And what I mean by that is I learned how to, and this is probably why I also believe I'm autistic. I learned how to have this sense of urgency, and like the second that you tell me something needs to get done, I want to get that done. But most of the times, the second somebody tells me like, "Wait, do it later," my memory doesn't work like that. I generally forget a lot of things. I will forget to fucking eat. I'll forget to fucking brush my teeth. I'll forget to. It doesn't matter to me. There is no level of importance for anything. But like somehow my brain has been able to at least organize, like when it comes to work and work stuff, everything's important. Like you don't want to piss off your boss, you don't want to piss off your coworkers, you don't want to piss off your supervisors, you don't want to piss off the customers, you don't want to piss off anybody that could screw up your cash flow essentially. And I do realize that work and all the things that are in work are only as valuable as to those that are around you, because my boss is only my boss and important to me and those that he is governing over. But outside of the work area, he is just him. He is nobody important to anybody else aside from like maybe his immediate family and his extended family. But I have to remember, my boss is my boss, but my boss isn't your boss, as well as one day he or she cannot be my boss. And that there's always that professional and personal line. And I feel as if professionally, I can, like when I get into that professional personal, I'm so leaning to one or the other side so badly. It's like, hey, you're not supposed to say that here. Or, hey, why don't you loosen up a little bit? Because when I go professional, I basically go robotic, strict, trying to think of what could I literally say. But when I'm in my personal, I will literally say whatever the fuck I want to. I am a bag of tricks, I guess is the easiest way to say it, just because you don't know what you're going to get with me. Even I don't know what the fuck I'm going to get with me. I try my best to be flexible. That's it. And within the flexibility, well, who knows? Sometimes people laugh at me, sometimes people applaud me, sometimes people want to copy it, but I'm just me. Whether you accept me or not, at the end of the day, as long as I accept and love me, that's all that should matter in society. Or at least that's what I believe. And you guys don't need to believe what I believe. You just need to leave me alone. I don't mind bleeding. I don't mind dry heaving. I don't mind a lot of things that bother other people. But when I'm out in the community, I make sure I act as normal as they expect me to. So I freak out things that you would, and I laugh at things that you would, but in reality, I don't really know how to react accordingly. Which is why I laugh when it's serious. We all die, you know that, right? Eventually, you that is so important to me will become nothing due to the fact of time, possibly. Who really knows? One of these days we might grow apart, or one of these days we might just hate each other, so I try not to be the problem. Cocktail. I try. Well, I try not to be a problem. Some people, their only goal is to be the only problem. I don't know. But until next time, thank you for listening to my mind.